ฮัลโหลสวัสดีครับเมื่อวานเราจบที่13ใช่ปะพี่จำไม่ได้อันนี้พูด
แต่
คิด
อา
ว่า
จารย์ที่เราอยู่อังก
ใช่
ฤษ
ครับ
มาอังกฤษ
อันนี้พูดไปแล้วใช่ไหม12ถ้าจำไม่ผิด yeah family and then this one this one ยังเนาะ
อันนี้เดี๋ยวนึกกันครับว่าไป
เราเมื่อวานจบที่ family หรือเปล่าหรือว่าตัวนี้ยังเนาะถ้ายังอยู่ก็ต้องพูดเลยวันนี้ทั้งหมด30 topic นะครับสู้ตายไหม
ได้ครับเนี่ย
ไม่แน่ใจว่าใครจะมาเรียนหรือเปล่าแต่แน่นอนว่าเรด้าต้องพูดนะครับ for sure เดี๋ยวไอส่งไปให้ก่อนเพราะว่าไอ revise นิดหนึ่งเพราะ topic business นะครับส่งไปให้ในไลน์แล้วนะครับสำหรับ paper หมายถึงว่าตัว PDF PowerPoint presentation for today class. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to start with these questions. It's okay? Right. So question number 13 would be, sales companies should recruit people who are hungry for money, as they will make the most dedicated workers. So do you think money is driving force behind hard work, and you need to explain a bit what factors should be taken into consideration when recruiting staff for sales positions? Would you like to do impromptu, or you need to think before?
เดี๋ยวคิดจะพักหนึ่งก็ได้ครับเดี๋ยวคิดแป๊บเดียวครับ
พร้อมปุ๊บเปิดเลยแล้ว ก็คือไม่ต้องมิวเสียงเปิดไมค์รอเลย จะได้รู้ว่าอยู่พร้อมเมื่อไหร่โอเคนะ
ผมว่างั้น เอาอะไรก็ได้ครับคิดอะไรไม่ออกเลยครับงั้นเดี๋ยวลองสดๆดูครับ
One, two, three.
To be honest, I agree that money is driving force behind hard work. And most of the people work hard, and most of the people, for example, most of the people want to work as an engineer or a doctor because these careers, they can earn lots of money. They can earn high salaries from these careers, these jobs. So that's one of the factor that motivates them to do this kind of job. Because getting a high salary can support the subsistence, and also they can use the money to buy or afford things or some necessities for their daily life. Yeah. And what I'm going to explain next is the factor that should be taken into consideration when recruiting staff or someone or applicants for sales position. Firstly, I would say that the qualification of salesman or someone who wants to work in this position, they need to be kind, and also they need to be sociable, because because it's pretty important for people who want to work in this position to to treat the customers nicely, and don't get easily annoyed when they ask something that they don't know about the products that you're selling to them. So this is one of the factors that should be taken into consideration. And also another factor is that we should do some interviews about them, or some experiences or backgrounds about them first. Because some people who have lots of experiences before are more likely to be successful in this job, because they know what shouldn't do, some mistakes they might encounter with lots of different kinds of customers' personalities before, so they know how to cope with the problem. I mean, yeah, the impromptu problem.
Good. So to me, I think I do agree with some part of like money can be a motivating factors that, convince or persuade some people who really want to work as a sales positions here. Just because I think like we can see the real fact or the ratio of those people who just decided to, to start working in a career path of sales. So they're gonna get a lot of high commissions, right? So this is kind of thing that they're gonna, it is very important factor for those people who have to, just driving themselves to do with their dedicated workers just because some part of money can be contribute their work to be better, right? And I think for sales position, this is kind of like just only to those who, I would say, I think that when comparing to other factors, so we can say that maybe sales positions may have to consider with more qualification than, money factor, right? But in reality, it's kind of like to those people who really want to work as a sales positions. So they're just thinking about like just because they want to get money. Is that right? So they just decide to work as this career. Just because I personally, based on my experience, I have one of my friends who work as a teacher, English teacher, right? So they're gonna have like a good qualification in terms of English proficiency or even self-confidence and convincing speech, or they're good at speaking. So this kind of like is easy for him to start doing as a sales position. But the fact is that they decide to change a career path to be a sales position just because they're gonna get money more than other factor that can be contribute in this way. So I do agree that hungry for money is a reality of a sales position basically, and we can see like if we want to discuss for more factors or considering for other factors, it's kind of like a personality or even how well you can do with that position properly. Is that right? That's it. Okay พอได้นะจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยเนี่ยให้เรา fix โจทย์ essay มันจะชอบแบบแย้งและทำให้เราคิดต่างแต่ความจริงนะพยายามสมมุติเขาบอกว่า hungry for money อยู่พูดไปเลยว่าจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยมันเป็นอย่างนั้นเก็ตไหมหมายถึงว่าเท่าที่พี่อ่าน essay มาเยอะๆเนี่ยคนที่ได้แบรนด์ดีๆเนี่ยจะฟิกตัวโจทย์นี่แหละแล้วก็พยายามหาเหตุผล that's it alright so moving to next question hereให้เวลาอ่านก่อนนะครับ so my question is that all right the reasons the most individuals are in debt is that due to overuse as well as irresponsible use of credit cards. So banks should not issue credit card unless they can completely sure of an individual's ability to pay back their debts. To what extent do you agree or disagree?
นี่หมายความว่าคนที่ใช้บัตรเครดิตแล้วก็ไปติดในธนาคารอย่างนี้แหละแล้วก็ธนาคารไม่ควรที่จะให้แบบว่าต้องทำมาชัวร์ก่อนว่าเขาจะมีตังใจนี่อย่างเงี้ยครับแล้วถึงจะปล่อยบัตรเครดิตให้
ถ้าเกิดว่ามองอันนี้พี่ไกด์ให้ก่อนนะถ้ามอง common sense เนี่ยธนาคารนะจะมีการเกรดบ้างในระดับหนึ่งแต่เอาจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยธนาคารปล่อยหมดเพราะว่ายิ่งคนที่ไม่มีปัญญาจ่ายเขาจะได้เงินเยอะงงปะ หมายถึงว่าพอเราปล่อยให้กับคนที่มีกำลังจ่ายคนที่มีบัตรเครดิตจะฉลาดในการใช้ถูกไหมครับเพราะฉะนั้นธนาคารต้องปล่อยให้ทุกคนเพื่อที่ว่าเขาจะได้แบบกำไรตรงนั้นโหดไหม
เขาได้กำไรยังไงครับว่าสมมติคนติดหนี้
สมมติไอเป็นแบงก์ไอปล่อย ให้ยูและยูไม่ยอมไม่มีความสามารถในการจ่ายหมายความว่าไอก็จะได้ profit จากตรงนี้ไงเพราะจ่ายช้างงปะ แล้วยูก็จะแบ่งรับจนไม่มีเหลืออันนี้คือใน notion ของทาง business มันอาจจะเป็นแบบนั้นลองพูดแบบ switch นิดนึงเพราะว่าถ้าตาม common sense เนี่ยใช่ธนาคารควร evaluate ability to pay back is that right but in reality it's not like that อย่างเช่น you make รู้จักปะหรือว่าแบบ เครดิตการ์ดทั่วไปที่เป็นแบบสำหรับ low income อ่ะ you okay that's it alright so shall we start to discuss in this
แล้วถ้าสมมติว่าติดหนี้บัตรเครดิตเขาไว้แบบเยอะๆนะครับเขายึดทรัพย์สินได้ไหมครับหรือว่า
ใช่มันง่ายกว่ายึดทรัพย์ดีกว่าให้เขาจ่ายคืน งงปะ เพราะถ้าเกิดว่าคนฉลาดเขาจะจ่ายคืนตรงอยู่แล้วถูกไหมคนรวยๆอ่ะเขาไม่มีปัญหาเรื่องหนี้ไงคนที่มีปัญหาเรื่องหนี้มักจะเป็นคนที่ manage ไม่ได้ถูกไหมครับอันนี้เราพูดแบบใน reality เนาะ Is that right? So when it comes to talk about how you can pay back, meaning that what you need, I'm going to convince you to generate the idea from a different perspective. Is okay? But if you just stick for this kind of question, is fine. But to me, in reality, I can say that banking have a strategic marketing to provide lots of loans or a number of loans to other people without deciding much more to return, paying back just because it's kind of like they're gonna get value from it. That's it. Yeah. แบน8ครับแบน8จัดมาเลย แต่ยังพี่พยายามไกด์ให้แต่ว่าพี่อยากจะฟังเราเฉยๆนะครับขอไอเดียให้เผื่อว่าต้องโดนเอเซ่นะเพราะว่าเอเซ่มันจะทรงนี้ยากไหมในมุมเรา
ถ้าเรื่องแบบคำถามนี้
ก็ต้อง
ยากครับเพราะว่าไม่ได้รู้เกี่ยวกับธนาคารอะไรเลย
ลองคิด common sense ก่อนก็ได้เดี๋ยวพี่จะพยายาม develop idea ให้โอเคไหม
งั้นเดี๋ยวลองสดๆเลยกันนะครับคิดไม่ออกเหมือนกันครับ Firstly, I would say that I agree with. I disagree with this statement. What I mean by that is banks should not like prohibit the credit card for individuals, like who indeed the individuals who don't have the ability to pay back their debts. And what I mean by that, because one of the reason is if people like, I mean, if someone owns a credit card and if they are in debt with that credit card and if they cannot pay back, so the bank can exploit some advantages from those people. Like what I mean by that is the bank can gain more profits, or sometimes you can see in reality some companies who that are bankrupt, or some entrepreneurs or someone who like who is in debt with their credit card, their assets or their houses, their money or their cars, although those assets will be occupied by the bank. So that's one of the benefits of them. So the solution of this is everyone, I would recommend everyone who owns a credit card, they should be economical on buying things. I mean, what I mean by that, like food or some unnecessary things. I would say that, yeah.
Is that difficult, right? So to me, I'm going to say that so for general purposes, it's kind of like a bank should issue a credit card to those people who can be affordable to pay back or paying back. It's necessary to consider some kind of factor. For example, like firstly, they can consider from the bank statement or even a salary payment that they're gonna get in monthly payment or not, right? The second thing is that they're just kind of like a group of working or even a career, right? For example, like those people who run a business or even you stick to the company, it might be easy for them to to be issued by a bank, or those people who really can afford, which is kind of paying back, is fine for them to have a credit card here. However, for some reason, this is kind of like it's all about marketing strategy. It's all about, like, so we can see, for example, like for some company, especially banking, that provide money or even loan a credit card to those people from starter of working. For example, like if let's say in Thailand, so we can see that in order to issue the credit card, they just consider only monthly payment, only 15,000 per month, and that's it. And anyway, if you pay back a lot, I mean, if you pay with a credit card a lot, so you might not be able to, to pay back to the bank. So meaning that the interest of their payment beyond the expectation, you know what I mean? So for example, like it might be easy to get into debt here, and also those individuals who cannot be affordable or return back might have a problem later on. Okay, so I think maybe for some require, they're gonna see some factors that they can issue from a credit card, but lots of banks that finding for money or even the incentive or even the it's all about marketing strategy. So it's not true that they're just considering to those people who can be affordable or return back later. มันอาจจะทัฟนิดนึงนะเป็น dark side หน่อยนึงนะ sorry นะอยู่เข้าใจที่ไอสื่อไหมหมายถึงว่าอย่างเช่นสมมุติอะไร Citibank Citibank อาจจะเป็นแบบ privilege หน่อยนึงถ้าเป็นแบงก์ใหญ่ๆเช่น K-Bank SCB พวกนี้เนี่ยจะค่อนข้างใช้ accredit ถูกไหมครับในการปล่อยถูกป่ะแต่ว่าถ้าเป็นแบงก์แบบยูไม่แบบกดเงินสดอะไรพวกนี้เนี่ยเขาจะปล่อยให้คนที่ฐานเงินเดือนแค่15,000ซึ่งทีนี้เนี่ยกลุ่มคนพวกนี้เนี่ยจะไม่ค่อยมีโอกาสในการ pay back that's it okay so this kind of a very interesting topic I would say that I just want you to write if you prefer to write for this, but it's kind of hard and a little bit challenging I guess. Moving to next question here ไหวใช่ไหมถ้าไม่ไหวบอกนะ
ได้ครับได้ครับ
พูดมากกว่าไออยู่แล้วอันนี้ขนาดยูต้องพูดมากกว่าไอยังพูดมากกว่ายู all right so for this question some people believe believe อะไรดีให้เวลาอ่านกันนะ okay so for this question right some people believe that the higher product is price the more likely it is people will want to buy it. So the price higher, more likely that people kind of buy it. It's true to me, it's true, right? To what extent does price influence potential buyers, or what other factors influence people to buy a product? So do you understand for this question? Meaning that I do believe that a high quality might go in the same way of a high price. For example, like MacBooks, so you can see like high quality, so the price higher than ordinary, right? And I think to those potential customers, they're gonna decide or consider from this kind of thing. So to you, what do you think about this issue?
นี่หมายถึงว่าราคาสินค้าเพิ่มนี้นะครับก็
หมายถึงว่าสมมุติว่าอันนี้พี่คอมแพร์ง่ายๆนะฮะเขาบอกว่าราคาสูงเนี่ยจะเป็นการทำให้คนซื้อมากขึ้นถูกไหมฮะ
ครับ
ทีนี้เนี่ยถ้าเกิดว่าราคาสูงปกติเราจะคิดว่าคนก็จะไม่ซื้อแต่ว่าประโยคนี้เขาถามว่าถ้าราคายิ่งสูงเนี่ยจะทำให้ potential customer สูงขึ้นหรือเปล่าทีนี้ให้เราคิดกลับกันว่าเพราะว่า quality มันสูงทำให้คนอยากได้อะไรที่มันเป็น quality you know what I mean จริงหรือเปล่าแค่นั้นเอง เรดาร์เริ่มงงอย่าเพิ่งงงนะแบน8นะครับถ้าแบน7ไม่สอนหมายถึงว่าไม่ได้ให้ฝึกคิดแบบนี้คืออย่างนี้คืออันนี้เนี่ยโจทย์เอเซพวกนี้เนี่ยมันจะเป็นการสะท้อนแฟกต์งงไหมฮะหมายความว่าสมมุติเรดาร์ต้องซื้อ MacBook แพงไหมครับ
แพงครับ
แพงแต่ว่าคุณภาพเป็นไง
มันดีครับ
มันดีมากและคนที่ซื้อเป็นไงก็ดูเป็นคนที่แบบทำงานหรือว่าแบบฉลาดอยู่แล้วถูกไหมฮะ let's say เป็นแบบนั้นมันก็จะเป็นแบบว่า price value พวกนี้ด้วยเหมือนกัน that's it okay so what do you think about this โหดมาก
นี่ให้ตอบสองคำถามนี้ใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่แต่ว่าเอาเบสตามที่อยู่คิดนะไม่ต้องไปอะไรมาก
To be honest, based on this question, according to my opinion, I believe that price does matter and price influences potential buyers. For example, like if price is low or if there is a decline in price of products, so that will influence more customers to buy. But in contrast, if the price is high, but there is another contributory factor of influencing people to afford for that particular product is the quality of the product. For example, like iPad or iPhone, iPod from Apple company, which is the founder of this company is Steve Jobs, right? And as we say during COVID-19 crisis, these products have been sold out so often, and the reason behind that is during this COVID-19, people should be quarantined, and also it affects the education a lot. Also, it affects. And it has, I mean, what I mean by that is it has a damage, I would say that it has an effect on pedagogical approach of teachers who are uncomfortable to teach their children, their students, yeah. And there is another example that can support this statement is that iPad, which is useful for education as well because of this its quality, and it's a new function and it's elaborately designed. You know, it has an Apple Pencil, and teachers who want to teach their students more comfortable, they can use the Apple Pencil to write on the screen and just show their students the information. And yeah, that's kind of technological facility to support. Yeah.
Yep, I think so. So this is kind of a so let's say like okay, to those people who really want to buy something, there's firstly they have decided you know to consider with the qualities, right? A quality of that product, and then if a high quality of that product is so, meaning that higher of the price would be in the same way. So to those people who can be affordable to buy just such a thing, so it might be okay. Lots of people may think or inclined to do so, but anyway, for some part of you know general customers, it cannot be applied in this thing much just because it might be just only for some products that could convince or you know attracted lots of potential customer to buy something. For example, like a fixed brand, Apple or things like that. That you know, this is kind of like product value is determine how people can choose or can buy it. That's it. ยากจังเลยอ่ะปวดหัวแล้ว
ยากครับ ยากจริง
แต่ว่าต้องไป research ทีนี้เนี่ยพอเรา reading เนี่ยให้อยู่อย่างนี้พ พอเราอยู่จะเขียนเอเซดีๆได้เนี่ยพี่คิดว่ามันต้องมีการรีเสิร์ชก่อนเขียนนะครับซึ่งทีนี้เนี่ยพอเรารีเสิร์ชเราอ่านเอเซของคนอื่นๆของที่มีตามท้องตลาดหรือว่าอินเทอร์เน็ตเนี่ยอยู่อ่านประมาณ let's say นะอย่างต่ำคือ2เรื่องนะครับมากสุดกี่เรื่องไม่ซีเรียสแต่ทีนี้เนี่ยพอเราได้2เรื่องปุ๊บให้ compare แบบเอเซดีๆนะไม่เอาแบรนด์ที่แบบว่าอ่านแล้วฮิตอ่ะลองไปไล่ดูในตัว Z ก็ได้ TOEFL ก็ได้นะครับหรือว่าอีกตัวหนึ่งที่อยาก recommend อันนี้ recommend เฉยๆนะมันจะเป็น CPE ของ Cambridge ลองไปไล่เช็ค essay ของ CPE ก็จะยากมากนะครับลอง search Google ดูว่า CPE นะครับก็คือจะเป็น Cambridge CPE หรือเปล่าว่า C Advanced C English Proficiency ถูกไหมประมาณนั้นนะครับเดี๋ยวลองไล่เช็คไม่เป็นไรเดี๋ยวพาร์ทพวกนี้เดี๋ยวพี่ส่งลิงก์ไปให้ในไลน์ทีหนึ่งก็ได้นะฮะ Okay, that's it. Moving to moving to next questions here. Some people think that the only way to judge someone's success in business is by the amount of money they make, the amount of money they contribute to. Is that right? So, sub question here would be: is money a true indicator of the success of a business? And then, in what other ways could success in a business be measured? Oh God.
Hmm. เดี๋ยวคิดแป๊บนึงครับ
ยากจังใช่ไหม
เดี๋ยวเราลองดูเลยก็ได้ครับ
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, go.
Personally, I agree partially that money is a true indicator of the success of a business. And the reason to support this, to support my agreement is that, like we can say like some popular businesses or some successful companies, they gain lots of profits and they gain lots of money. Like, I mean, the net worth of that company's owner will be like really high, and they are actually a billionaire. But there is another factor that they can measure the word success in terms of success. Yeah. What do you mean that by that is no entrepreneurs in this world can run their own business without recruiting any workers or managers or any departments. So so they should work in team. They should work together. And additionally, I would say that there is another factor that can drive the companies to be successful and prosperous, is that the workers are industrious enough and they gain more. I mean, they get more. Like I would say, creative workers, or they are competent enough to help the companies to be successful. Yeah, like, and also for example, I'll give you some examples. Like in Tesla company, the founder of this company is, and I cannot remember that his name, but Also, there's another company which is SpaceX. The founder of this company is Elon Musk, and he is very successful guy, man in this world, because not because of him only, but he has competent workers, and his workers have an ability to produce the technological facilities such as electric car or space shuttle, yeah, something like that. And also in terms of success, like I would say that it should be it should be worked in a cross-functional team. Yeah, they should work together. They should gather different people from different departments to brainstorm the idea to produce one of the productive work to gain more profits for the company.
ยากมาก นี่ก็ไม่รู้จะคิดยังไงเพราะว่าคิดไม่ออกครับสรุปก็คือไม่ใช่เงินเนาะ
เงินมันก็มีส่วนนะแต่ว่าแบบว่าถ้ามีพนักงานที่ว่าเก่งๆอันนั้นมันก็ถือว่าวัดความสำเร็จเหมือนกันครับ
อืมก็แสดงว่าไม่ใช่เงินทั้งหมดอะเนาะไม่นะไอ้ว่าเงินมีผลปะอย่างเช่นอันนี้ let's say ว่า Facebook นี่ทำยอดเท่าไหร่ Facebook กับ Google ใครรวยกัน
อันนี้ไม่รู้นะครับ
Okay, that's it. You okay? All right. So I do agree with this. I mean, I do agree that it's not just only money that can be a contributing factors or as important indicator for success in any kinds of business. But I think so. Let's say like right now, so we can see like lots of arising business would be the business that is related to creativity, especially when it comes to do high technology or even just come up with new ideas, and then you can run any kinds of like gaining money, lots of it. For example, like crypto, or do something that I never studied before or never researched it before. So this is kind of like things that come up in the instant time. I mean, in the right now, just because we have to stay at home and then we do searching lots of information on the internet, and money transfer would be do in a daily routine all the time. So cryptocurrency or even things like that might be an arising success of a business. So if we can consider of the factor of money is true for that, but some kind of like creative something new might be a good way to run any kinds of business. So, but a successful business would compose lots of things, not just only for a great, collaborative team, but you need to handle with struggling or even difficulties as well. So it's kind of like maybe I think manager vision or supervision that could lead something to be more successful. Yeah, that's it. Okay, good. ก็มั่วๆไปนิดหน่อยนะครับเพราะปวดหัวละ โอเคไหมเรดาร์นะครับอีกสักข้อหนึ่งดีกว่าครับมาโอเคso
เดี๋ยวมาเมื่อนะครับเดี๋ยวมาเมื่อ
ได้เดี๋ยวขอ pause ก่อนแป๊บหนึ่งนะ
มาแล้วครับ
Okay, so next question is วินะฮะไอจะไม่เริ่มถามนะให้อยู่คิดก่อนจะได้ impromptu. Okay, so for this question, right? It is common practice for some students to take a gap year between high school and university in order to do a charitable work or a charity. Is that right? Abroad. in underdeveloped country, for example, like in South Africa, things like that, right? What are the advantages for young people of doing volunteer work?
ขอนึก5 วินาทีครับครับ อันนี้คือไปช่วยพวกประเทศที่เขายากไร้เงี้ยนะครับ
ใช่เป็นประเทศ underdeveloped country undeveloped country ใช่ไหมอ๋อแสดงว่ามี under ด้วยอะที่อยู่เขียนเมื่อวานใช่ไหมโอเค
ใช่ครับ
okay, so I think like it's kind of charitable work or volunteer work ประเทศไทยก็ได้ก็ถือว่าเป็น underdeveloped country sorry
นั่นเดี๋ยวถ้านอกจากว่ารู้สึกว่ารู้สึกเป็นคนที่แบบยังเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะภาษาไทยอะครับแบบ
ยังไงฮะ
รู้จักเรื่องเฟื้อแผ่มากขึ้นมันมีอะไรอีกไหมครับเพราะว่าผมนึกไอเดียได้แค่นั้นครับ
ความจริงๆแล้วนั่นเป็นการ learn a different lifestyle of a people or people like a people behavior, people attitude, people norm or setting, culture, diversities, things like that. It's okay. Just because when it comes to talk about undeveloped countries, so we do believe that we are going to see a progress or developed country, for example, in Western country, America, UK, Australia, things like that, right? Japan, things like that. But anyway, when it comes to talk about experiencing in undeveloped countries, so you can see that lots of, weird common practices. I would say that for example, like people may have a mental disability, or even their perspective or even their kind of behavior is quite different from those people in a developed country. So you can learn something new, exchanging the idea. I would say like that, yeah. And then is it true that you can say that it's kind of like compromising or like sympathy or empathy to those people who are poor in the nations, right? But I think just because it's all about, it's related to the way that we have to manage. A country must be manageable in order to make sure that this kind of thing might not happen. If we talk about bad things happen in underdeveloped countries, is that right? Yeah.
เดี๋ยวลองดูครับ
พี่เริ่มกดท็อปิกเยอะมากนะครับอันนี้ก็หามาให้แต่ว่า okay so 1 2 3 go
according to my opinion there are lots of advantages for young people to do a volunteer work possibly in a foreign country, or they can do this volunteer in their own country to help the poor or the unprivileged people or unprivileged children who lacks of education. I mean, access to education. Yeah. And the reason to support this statement is that it is advantages for them, and it encourages them to be a better person. What I mean by that is they will have more time to experience something valuable, and that is going to be their, I would say that it's a milestone for their in their memory. because in realities in lots of developed countries there are still the problems of children or teenagers who are addicted to playing games or something that has a harmful effect on their mind or their mindset or their physical health. Yeah, something like that. If they are offered by something useful to do, such as a common practice for them to take a year off from high school or university to go abroad and to do a charitable work in undeveloped countries, underdeveloped countries such as in Africa. Probably there are some activities such as helping the poor children to access the education, or sometimes we might the people from developed countries, they have lots of knowledge, and some people is a professional or some people is literate, right? So they can provide new knowledge and exchange some experiences, valuable experiences to each other. And also these people can and what I'm going to say is that it helps them to interact with people. It helps them to get in a lower risk of being in a state of depression because they can say or meet more people. They can talk to other people. They can be more sociable. So that's good for them. And there's some examples that examples of activities to support these unprivileged people, such as planting a tree or helping them with agricultural production. And it's useful to plant a tree, and because thatเดี๋ยวเราจะพูด
มันต้องคิดด้วยเนาะ มันไม่ใช่แค่พูดอย่างเดียวแต่พี่ก็งง ไม่ใช่ว่างงในสิ่งที่อยู่พูดนะไองงว่าแบบไอจะเริ่ม generate ไอเดียยังไงต่อเพราะว่าแต่ว่าในส่วนของwhen it comes to talk about like to those people who start a career with international affair or like those people in UNESCO, UNESCO, right? So they do a lot of charitable work abroad, especially in the African continent, or just like the third world. เข้าใจว่า third world เนาะ
โลกที่สามครับ
มันคืออะไรนะ second ไม่รู้เหมือนกันsomething like that นะฮะต้องไป research นิดหนึ่งนะฮะ Okay, don't worry. Just talk what you are thinking about. That's it. But when it comes to do the essay, so you need to research first, just because I think the idea must be practical and interesting, and that's it. Mm-hmm. จบแล้วเนาะ
คิดไอเดียไม่ออกครับ
ถ้าจบก็ move ครับผม30ข้อไหวไหมเนี่ยจบภายในถ้าไม่จบก็คือต้องปิดแล้วนะไม่เอาแล้วไม่ใช่เด็ดปวดหัว you ก็ไป recall เองแล้วกันนะฮะ all right shall we if you want to break just tell me, right? But I think you can solo just because today just only here to speak up today. All right. So for this question, rich countries are getting richer while poor countries are getting poorer.
เหมือนอันนี้ที่เขียนได้
ใช่ไหมดูเขียนไปแล้วนี่ใช่ไหม
ใช่ครับ
skip ได้ป่ะ next one so some people think that it is better for a country economy for people to spend money while others
ไม่
believe
เหมือนจะเขียนไปแล้วเหมือนกันนะ
เขียนไปแล้วเหมือนกัน แสดงว่า I rerun เฉยๆถ้าอย่างนั้นไปแล้วใช่ปะ
ใช่ครับ
I think that employers should ensure a pleasant working environment so that workers feel well and will therefore work hard. Others feel that employers should be more strict with employees and monitor them closely to ensure they work hard. What is your opinion here? อันนี้น่าจะยังไม่เคยพูดนะใช่ปะ
ไม่เคยครับ
โอเคอาจจะมีข้อที่มันซ้ำกันบ้างนะครับเพราะดึงมาจากหลายเว็บไซต์นะไม่เป็นไร alright so shall we start for this discussion here
เอาอะไรใช่ไหมครับ
เอาเลยไหมหรือว่าต้องคิดแต่ว่ามันยากอยู่นะ
งั้นผมจะลองเอาเลยครับ แต่ว่าอาจจะพูดสั้นหน่อยนะครับ
that's okay okay 1 2 3 go
แป๊บนึงครับโอเคครับมาแล้วครับ It is widely claimed and believed by lots of people that workers should do their work at their workplace in a pleasant environment to ensure that, to make sure that they feel comfortable enough, and there will be more chances for them to work hard. They will. I mean, what I mean by that is they will be more motivated to be more diligent at their work. But in contrast, other people feel that employees should be more strict, and they should regulate the rules, and also they should supervise their employees so closely to just make sure that they work hard enough. According to my opinion, I disagree with the second statement, but I agree with the first statement. And the reason is everyone has their rights to do something privately. What I mean is, like, it's better for the workers to feel more comfortable while they are working, because sometimes they might check some alerts, or the phone alerts, or just call someone for a few minutes, and their employees might misunderstand that they're not working, and they might get reprimanded or blind. Yeah, and that's not a good thing to do. And another reason is they should feel satisfied while they're working, because they will more likely to show the loyalties to their bosses or their employers. Because if their bosses or if their employees are so bossy and so fuzzy, if they are, or sometimes we might see some employees are so dogmatic to their, and also self-opinionated, self-centered, I would say, like that, and that makes the personnel or staffs in a particular company feels distraught, and feels reluctant to come to the workplace every day, and that lowers the success of the company as well. Because if people are not willing, or I would say they are unwilling to work in team, and or in another case, their colleagues are feckless or lazy, so they don't feel like they want to work anymore. They might resign from the company.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there are lots of problems about that.
It's all about like how to relationship that a manager should treat their staff to work well, right? Just because it increase working performances among those staff as well. If we, if a manager provides them with a pleasant working environment, not just only like pleasant in terms of like psychological factors, but it's all about like maybe they're gonna give something to enhance their the way of a quality of life. For example, like if they got stressed, so the manager should give them to stress free. For example, like going to exercise or provide some facility in their working places to make sure that they're gonna have a healthy, you know, relationship with those people around them. Just because I do believe that life equal to, life equal to work. So meaning that everyone have to work just because they have a life. If you don't work, so meaning that you don't have a life. That's it. นะประมาณนั้น ไปครับ All right, so moving to the next question here. In the last few decades, there have been more and more cases of famous people being chased and harassed by newspaper journalists. For example, like gossips, right? Things like that, or even like do some kind of like sexual harassment, things like that. So you can, whatever, you can raise some example here. Some people think that famous people in the media should not expect to have a private life. There is no rules for them to have a private life. Is that right? To what extent do you agree or disagree?
เดี๋ยวขออ่าน เขาคิดว่าไงครับ Actually, I disagree with this statement that it is claimed by some people that they think that famous people in the media should not expect to have a private life. Actually, it's kind of equalities, I would say, like that, because what I mean by that is everyone in this world, in terms of democracy, everyone has their own rights to do something. Everyone has their own privacy, and we shouldn't cross the line across someone's boundaries if not necessary, if it is unnecessary. But in this case, เดี๋ยวขออ่านโจทย์หนึ่ง Okay ครับ in newspapers, for example, last year I saw a newspaper that the famous celebrity was harassed by the journalist because there were some rumors. It's kind of unsatisfactory rumors about about that celebrity, and that particular famous person tried to squash that rumors. And หัวข้อนี้คิดไอเดียไม่ออกนะ
แต่ว่าออกชัวร์พี่ว่านะ รู้สึกปะมันยากดี
หัวข้อนี้ยากเลย
But it reflects the reality of celebrities issues that is related to journalists, right? To present something just because they're going to gain some popularity toward audiences who read a journalist or newspaper journalists here. And I do believe that targeted audiences might interest with a private life of a famous people. So it's not just only for celebrity in our country, but in overseas or international country, especially in the UK, USA, or in Western countries. We can see like lots of celebrity have got harassed or even, got attracted with a misleading content or even misconducted behavior, for example, like a drug addicted or even sexual harassment, things like that. But it is like a hot spot, I would say, that everyone have to look up to, and those people have to accept with kind of like commitment or responsibility that if you choose to be like a celebrity, you need to accept for this kind of condition. But anyway, in terms of penetrating or even harm the privacy life, I think it should be restricted or even controlled by the government, like issuing some law to prohibit things like that to be better. That's it. ยากเนาะปวดหัวแล้วเนี่ย
คำถามยากครับ
ต่อนะใจเย็นๆนะครับเฮ้ยอันนี้ไปแล้วเนี่ยเมื่อวานหรือว่าพี่รีรัน
อันนี้ไปแล้วครับไปแล้ว
ไปแล้วก็ไปที่3ต่อครับไม่ต้องกลัว sale companies อันนี้ก็ไปแล้วเมื่อกี้นี่เองถูกไหม
ใช่ครับ
อ๋อเขา refresh ใหม่เฉยนี่แหละครับ some people are of the opinion that giving a good first impression at the interview is a key to securing a good job. To what extent do you agree or disagree? ก็จริง
เดี๋ยวอันนี้คือถ้าไปสร้าง first impression หรือตอนที่สัมภาษณ์งานก็จะได้งานอย่างเงี้ยแบบว่าได้งานดีๆมาทำ
มันก็เอาตรงก็มัน depend on job อย่างเช่นสมมติจะเป็นแบบflight attendant ก็ต้อง first impression is a key alright but anyways it's kind of like you can look into the deep analysis of their the one or a person that suit for work or not but I do believe that first impression is a key to have an interview too just because they're gonna see like the reason behind if you can make a first impression meaning that you prepare a lot to get impressed you know what I mean หมายความว่าถ้าเกิดว่าเราทำให้เขา impress ได้หมายความว่าเรา prepare มาแล้วไงเพราะคนปกติมันไม่มีใครเซิร์ฟใครได้ขนาดนั้นใช่ป่ะ
ใช่ครับ
แต่ว่าสมมุติว่าอยู่ได้ interview มาถ้า I impress you ตั้งแต่วันแรกหมายความว่า you prepare มาก่อนนะไม่ใช่ว่า you เป็น you ถูกไหมงงป่ะ
ใช่ครับ
หมายความว่าสมมุติว่า I จะ impress you ได้เนี่ยหมายความว่าอันนี้คือ compare ง่ายๆว่าถ้า you agree you ก็บอกว่า reason behind นะว่า you ไป prepare มา well prepare หรือว่าแบบมีการ rehearse interview มีการซ้อม effective communication อะไรพวกนี้มันก็ทำให้เกิดเป็น first impression it's not just about outlook appearances you know what I mean just because it can be determined as a thought or opinion of the one that on the interviewee on that day that's it อันนี้พี่สื่อไหมหมายถึงว่าไม่ห้ามคิดเกี่ยวกับ grooming หรือว่า look แบบนั้นไม่ใช่นะ first impression มัน depend ตาม job description อีกทีหนึ่งโอเค
แล้วถ้าสมมติว่าพูดรวมทั้งรูปลักษณ์แล้วก็แบบว่าตอนคำพูดที่พูดออกมานี่ได้ไหมครับ
ว่าพี่พยายามบอกว่าคือพอเราเจอคำถามนี้ปุ๊บเนี่ยสิ่งที่เราคิดเป็นแบบแรกคือ grooming ถูกไหม grooming ก็คือการหน้าตาดีหรือว่าแต่งตัวดีหรือว่าแบบสะอาดเรียบร้อยดูสุภาพอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอันนี้ก็ถือว่าเป็นimpression ในลักษณะของ external appearances you know what I mean but I do believe that when it comes to talk about I impress his voices ชอบเสียงสมมุติมันก็จะเป็น personality ของคนนั้นถูกไหมครับ I impress what they think about this issue มันก็จะเป็น personality ที่เป็นแบบ generate idea ละอยู่ต้อง cover ให้หมดมันถึงจะแบบเป๊ะโอเคไหม that's it ปวดหัวแล้วไม่ได้นะเรดาร์ต้องผ่านไปด้วยกันนะครับยิ่งกว่าโควิดอีกโอไมครอนนะฮะตอนนี้
นี้ก็อาจจะพูดสั้นๆนะ
Okay, great.
In case of impressing an interviewer when applying for jobs, I agree that first impression is quite important and is necessary to show the interviewer. And the reason behind that is I think and I believe that many interviewers will ask this question frequently. And this question is about what is your expectation of doing this job in the future, like probably in the 5 or 6 years later on. Yeah. And another question is that is used a lot is like they will ask you some qualifications and abilities that you have, or some experiences that you have had done before. And if you can if the applicants can answer the questions properly, what I mean by that is to show them what your ability is and some valuable experiences that you've encountered before. For example, doing a volunteer work. So that shows the interviewer that you are a kind person and you are easily interacting with other people. Probably they might think that you're a confident person. So that's and that's a basic, or I would say that that's a intrinsic value of thinking and mindset. I mean, a good mindset of worker. They might require this kind of worker. Yeah.
All right. ยากไหมครับปวดหัวแล้วเนี่ยต่อแล้วกันนะครับสู้ตายไหม ไม่ได้หยุดแน่ๆไว้ radar. So for this question some people feel that all right, some people feel that they should not have to pay any tax or taxes, right? And should be able to keep all of the money that they earn. To what extent do you agree or disagree? It's a hit my mind just because we have to pay tax, but tax does nothing here.
อันนี้มันก็น่าจะขึ้นอยู่กับแต่ละประเทศนะ ว่าถ้าสมมติว่าประเทศนี้จ่ายภาษีไปก็คงไม่มีประโยชน์
ไม่มีประโยชน์ อุ้ยประมาณนั้นนะฮะ Let's generate the idea here. พี่คิดว่าออกนะตัวนี้น่าสนใจอยู่
ลองดูอะไรก็ได้ครับ
Okay, right, 1, 2, 3, go.
Honestly, it depends on each countries, because in some I will give you 2 examples and I will compare between them. For example, in a developed country such as America or England, their citizens are willing to pay taxes to support the government to have more budget and allocate these budgets to enhance the technological facilities for any aspects in the country to encourage people to have a better life. Yeah, but for example, like allocating money to support education, I mean domestic education to encourage more unprivileged children to easily access education, or sometimes they might donate some I mean they might use these budgets to provide a funding to the poor children to have more privilege to be educated. Yeah, but in undeveloped countries in some undeveloped countries, people don't want to pay any taxes, and people avoid to buy a taxable merchandise, even though it is affordable, but they try to avoid it because, as you know, okay, for example, as you know, in Thailand, the tax is so high, but what Thai citizens get in return is it's unacceptable.
Not worth.
Because there is no development in the country.
I see.
Yeah, even we pay lots of taxes. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of waste of money. So Thai people should be more economical on their affordability. But additionally, I believe that probably, and it can possibly happen, that it might be illegitimate and it's illegal, I think, probably. But I don't know how many years or how many months that you will be sentenced for imprisonment if you avoid paying taxes.
Just because it's like a part, let's say it's commitment and responsibility of Thai nation or Thai people should do that, right? So, yeah, just let it go and let it be. That's it นะครับแต่ว่าน่าสนใจนะ you เขียนได้ไหมอยากให้ generate idea ถ้าเพชรยังอยู่เนี่ยเพชรเนี่ยจะเขียนได้ดีมากเพราะเขาอินมากเรื่องนี้ โอเค that's it นะ move มา move อันนี้ซ้ำนี่ว่าเรื่องเซลล์ละ Some people believe international sport can aid work pieces จริงป่ะ World peace sorry All right, some people believe international sport events aid world peace. Do you agree or disagree?
To be honest, I disagree with this statement that it is that some people claim that international sports, if it is organized, it will increase the peace for the world. But actually, I disagree with this statement because whenever the international sports are organized or any events of it are organized, they get lots of profits. I mean, the host of international sports events, they gain more benefits, and that doesn't help to reduce any crime at all, I think, because annually we can say, I mean, globally, that the rate of crime have increased continuously, I think. And international sports events have been seen in several years, but these crimes haven't, but I mean, these problems haven't been solved yet. Yeah, so that's why I disagree with this. Additionally, we should encourage more people to do sports instead, like do sports in local area, or using the budgets of the government to build more sports field or sports court to incentivize or to motivate more people to gravitate to that sports field, so that they will that will lower a risk of being addictive to drugs. And also it's like I mean the mindset of doing some illegal jobs such as being a drug dealer might be lower if they do more exercises. They get happier in the local areas, and also offer the poor children for a free education. That helps as well to reduce the chances of people perpetrating a crime or blah blah blah. Yeah. So organizing the international sports events are not involved in or not are not related to helping the world peace at all.
All right, I do agree with you. ต้องเป็น Prime Minister เนาะ Prime Minister แล้ว ก็คือ free education กับconvince them to do exercise ใช่ไหม reduce crime rate ได้ All right, good. I think maybe the last topic for today, for this session, right? And I'm going to let you speak for 2 minutes again, maybe in another aspect of speaking here. All right, the last question for this essay would be attaining a job. Attain a job which provide job satisfaction is difficult to do in many developing countries. Especially in Thailand, right? Why do you think that is the case, and do you think job satisfaction is important? Oh God.
อันนี้ให้ดิสคัสเป็นแบบเป็นสองมุมเลยครับว่าทำไมถึงมันเกิดขึ้นเนี่ยครับแล้วว่า job satisfaction มันความพอใจแบบในงานที่ทำมันสำคัญยังไงครับ
ใช่ Just because in reality it's kind of like we can say, especially in Bangkok, in Thailand, we can see lots of people just do a job just because they want to get money and they want to keep their life carry on day by day. It's not that serve for their job satisfaction at all. But to those people who have a really strong passion, they're going to start something with that passion, but it's not to everyone. Is that right? So lots of developing countries, we can see like laborers just working day by day in daily routine. I don't think that they feel happy and satisfied with the job much. That's it. So what is the possible causes for this problem? I think it's kind of a problem. And then to what extent do you think job satisfaction can be can be added into this aspect or not? Yeah.
ขอนึกว่าหนึ่งครับ
ปวดหัวเลยอะ
งั้นเดี๋ยวเอาอะไรก็ได้ครับ
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
When it comes to job satisfaction, that is difficult to do in many developing countries. We say several kinds of people that like there are distraught and that are reluctant to go to their workplace, and this happens so frequently in developing countries such as in America or in England. And there is just, I think there's just one of the factors that is the biggest problem that I'm going to discuss today. And that factor is as this modern era is a technology driven era. It's a period of technology, and people rely on technological facilities to do their work. so it leads to an increase of this career, such as engineer or a doctor or like some jobs that are related to modern technologies. But actually, it's not a laborers at the construction site because that is a manual labor, right? And the case that reduces the job satisfaction for lots of people is that it's impossible that everyone will like the same thing. It's impossible that everyone will have the same passion because different kinds of personalities, different perspectives. Some people might have a passion of being an engineer. Some people might expect to work in NASA. Some people might have a hope to be an astronaut or biologist or doctor, but not for some people who want to be an artist or some celebrities, and these careers are not related to technology. But as I said at the beginning, in this period is a technology driven era, and these jobs can, like, I mean, if you do these jobs like being a doctor or engineer, you can earn high salaries, and also that supports your life so much that you will have enough money to afford for luxurious things. Your parents will get proud or blah blah blah. Yeah, and that influences every. I wouldn't say every. I would say that influences. I mean, these factors influence the teenagers' parents to force them to study in technological field in the university, even though they dislike or they hate it, but they cannot argue and they cannot refuse that. Yeah, so that's the case, and that's a cause of a reduction of job satisfaction. And according to my opinion, job satisfaction is important because if you do something you like, or if you have a passion of something you're doing, you will be more motivated, and these people will have an attitude that, I mean, they will have a good mindset of doing that job. They will be willing to do the job, and also they can plan for their future, probably in 5 or 10 years, what they will improve, what and I mean, they will focus more on themselves. They will concentrate on what mistakes they have, what kinds of flawed understandings they are still having in what they are doing. Yeah, and there will be more chances. They will more likely to check themselves all the time. They will be alert all the time when it comes to their work. So
Yep.
yeah.
So it is important to say something with job satisfaction here. Yeah, but not everyone can serve the job satisfaction just because like yeah, lots of them are struggle with a job. That's it นะครับประมาณนั้นก็ลองไล่ดูนะครับทีนี้เดี๋ยวพี่ก็จะให้เราเลือกแล้วกันนะครับซึ่งเราดิสคัสกันเยอะมากไปเลือกมาสัก2ตัวแล้วกันจากทั้งหมดนะครับได้ไหมจริงๆแล้วเราเขียนมาแล้วแหละแต่ว่าเอา aspect ใหม่ๆที่น่าสนใจก็ได้ลองไล่ดูเนาะแล้วก็เขียนมานะครับโอเคไหมมันยากๆหมดเลยนะเอาตัวไม่อยากพูดว่าเอาตัวที่ยากที่สุดเอาตัวที่เราสนใจก็ได้แต่ว่าที่เรารู้สึกว่ามันแบบคอนเทนต์ดีๆแน่นๆหน่อยนะครับไหมเป็นแบบ compare หรือว่า cause effect อย่างเงี้ยโอเคนะครับ alright ทีนี้ก็ปิด job สำหรับ business essay ละนะฮะ เดี๋ยวไอเปลี่ยนสไลด์ให้อยู่ เป็นตัวนี้ ไม่ต้องกลัวนะคอนเทนต์แน่นนะมีประมาณ60เรื่อง ขึ้นอยู่กับว่ามันจะพูดไหวหรือเปล่าล่ะนะหมายถึงว่า
ได้ครับ
คือว่าอันนี้จะเป็นเน้น2นาทีนะครับก็จะเป็นเล่า storytelling เดี๋ยวพี่ขอสกิปตัวนี้ก่อนจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยอันนี้เป็นการเปิดคลาสกลางนะครับแต่ของเราก็คือเราอยากให้พูดทั้งหมดปกติพี่ให้เลือกนะครับแต่ทีนี้เนี่ยให้อยู่ prepare ก่อนเดี๋ยว I break ก่อน5นาทีนะครับอยากให้พูดไปทั้งหมดเลยก็คือ topic มาก2นาทีพยายาม timing ให้ได้2นาทีนะ2นาที2นาที2นาทีก็จะเป็น6นาทีสำหรับหน้านี้โอเคเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยถ้าอยู่พูดเกินไม่ได้เพราะว่ามันจะหมายถึงว่า timing มันจะ access ไปอยู่พูดไม่จบแล้วเขาต้องยัดคะแนนเราละ get ที่พี่สื่อไหมหมายถึงว่าแบบต้อง control ต้อง timing เองด้วย2นาทีแล้วก็พี่ timing ด้วย2นาทีช่วยกัน that's it นะเดี๋ยว I break ให้อยู่ก่อน5นาทีแล้วอยู่ prepare
อันนี้คือข้อละ2 นาทีแล้วครับ
ข้อละ2นาทีแต่จริงๆแล้วไอเชื่อว่ายูพูดมากกว่า2นาทีเพราะฉะนั้นยูต้องลิมิตงงปะ
หมายถึงว่า A ก็2 นาที B 2 นาที C 2 นาทีนี่แหละครับ
ให้เวลาพิพายก่อนเดี๋ยว I break เข้าน้ำก่อน5นาทีโอเค that's it มาเลย เป็นยังไงบ้างมาหรือยัง you there
ผมกำลังคิดไอข้อหนึ่งอยู่ครับ
happy memory you have ง่ายนี่ happy memory memorable day
เพราะว่าแบบไอ A กับ D มันแบบว่ามันไอเดียแบบคล้ายๆกันเลยครับ
memorable day เป็นแนวแบบ achievement หรือว่าแบบ gratitude happy memory เนี่ยถือว่าแบบ you spend time with your family members quality time with your family members ก็ได้แล้วเข้าใจปะหรือว่าแบบเป็นเพื่อนเป็นtrip เป็นอะไรพวกนี้แต่ memorable เนี่ย I would say like for example like graduation ceremony or even like you got achievement you get all an A in all subjects that it's all about like you can say something that you feel like yeah you're happy that's it
ถ้าเมื่อไอข้อ B อ่ะเป็นวันเกิดนะครับแต่ว่าวันเกิด
ก็คือเป็นแบบ special event นั่นเองนะครับ alright 2 นาทีนะไม่ต้อง timing ละ2 นาทีเลยนะ timing หมายถึงว่า you timing 2 นาทีด้วยนะ you จะได้รู้ว่าแบบ30 วิเนี่ยมันได้เท่าไหร่ละเพราะว่า you ต้องพูดเป็น4 section นะครับ so what you need to do is that you have to prepare for 4 section the first one is what and when right what when where why okay what is that using some relative clause and then just explain the event specify times and what did it happen in that day all right and how do you feel and so what do you think about that right? Like explore the idea first okay just 2 minutes here are you ready 1 2 3 go
ตอบคำถามข้อ A แล้วก็ไล่ไปถึง C ใช่ไหมหรือว่า
ใช่ข้อ A ก่อนนะแต่ว่า timing 2 นาทีก่อนหมายถึงว่าจับเวลา2 นาทีด้วยนะฮะเพราะว่าจะได้อยู่ใน2 นาทีเป๊ะเดี๋ยวต้องพยายามควบคุมทุกอย่างให้อยู่ใน2 นาทีโอเค That's
เดี๋ยว
it
แป๊บนึงครับเดี๋ยวผมเอาเวลามาจับนะครับ
ใช่เพราะว่าคนพูดก็ต้องจับด้วยเพราะเขาจะไม่เดี๋ยวไม่งั้นเขาจะไม่รู้ว่ามันต้องหยุดตรงไหนนะฮะ
โอเคครับ
1 2 3 go
Okay, let's start with my happy memory in my life. The happy memory in my life happened 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I would say that I have the experiences of studying abroad for 4 times. The first country that I went was in Philippines, and the third country was New Zealand, and the fourth was probably in England. Yeah, and when I always start with my milestone that I had in England first. When I went to that country, I learned lots of historical buildings. I mean, the important buildings in England, or like I went in London and I watched. I visited Big Ben. That was a big building, and I learned some like the background of that building. And especially when it was in New Zealand, I learned the cultures of Maori. Yeah, and also I learned some phrases of their native speakers. Yeah, and also I attended the events of rugby competition as well. So that's that indirectly forced me to do an exercise such as weightlifting. That's made me healthier, and yeah, that's a good experience of my.
ไปดี2แต่ว่า flow ไม่ขึ้นอาจจะเป็นเพราะว่าแบบเปลี่ยน session เนาะหมายว่ารู้สึกว่ามันช้ากว่า spontaneous ที่อยู่พูดตอน discussion น่ะเข้าใจไปปะ That is fine just because like we just changed the the different session here But anyway, just timing for 2 minutes, I think is very important, the timing, and then you can control your voices or your idea in time limit. That's it. Mhm. And second one, all right, describe a memorable day in your life. 1, 2, 3, go.
My memorable day in my life happened last 2 years ago, and that was when I attended to my birthday party. That was my own birthday party, and as I was in New Zealand last 2 years, I lived with my host family, and I organized the parties for, I mean, the personalized party for me, and lots of people came to my party, like, and this party was organized at a sports field, because we rented that sport field to play a basketball or football or any sports, or especially rugby. That was really fun, and we had a good time. We had a good memory together, and I interacted with other people that I did not know before, like, I mean, strangers, and also the relatives of my host family came as well. They came to visit my, like, what my appearance is, and what I look like, or something like that. And yeah, that's made me to get better in fluency of communicating English as well, because that forced me to talk a lot and talk and talk, and that changed my attitude of being introverted to be more talkative and more sociable.
Mhm.
And in that birthday, I received the special gifts, and especially I got a gift which was money. Yeah, there was $20 money, and I could use, and I was so happy. I was so satisfied because I could use that money to buy the thing, the product that I wanted to.
Good. ไม่เป็นไร I would say that it's just kind of like maybe okay, maybe we have to come up with a flow or coherent, just because it's fluency and coherent might go in the same way. But anyway, you just wish into this kind of topic, but it's fine. ไม่เป็นไรนะครับขออีกสักเรื่องหนึ่งนะสู้ๆนะอยู่ So describe a special event you remember well. 1, 2, 3, go.
Last year or last 3 years, yeah, I cannot remember exactly when I participated these special events, but I can remember that was the festival that I participated. It started when my friends, that was my closest friends, they invited me to go to this place and they convinced me to go there because they said there are lots of things to do. There are lots of activities to do, such as riding a ferry wheel or getting into a roller coaster. And there are all lots of restaurants in there. There are store markets, and also there were delicious food such as Japanese food, Chinese food. It encompasses lots of cultures as well, because that was when I was in New Zealand. I went to this festival, right? And the first activity that I was doing was I got into the roller coaster, and I was so excited to do that activity because that was my first time to do that. And when the safety guard fastened the seat belt for me, that was when the engine of the roller coaster started to accelerate itself to drive along the railway, and it just moved up and down, and that made me so dizzy. And yeah, that was a good memory.
Okay.
That was memorable. It was a valuable experience.
That's it. โอเคไม่เป็นไรไม่เป็นไรเอ่อเดี๋ยวเทรนไปสักพักหนึ่งนะครับทำไมตกใจเหรอพอเราพูด2 นาทีเพราะมันสั้นใช่ไหมเราติดพูดยาวๆปะเพราะพี่รู้สึกว่ามัน struggle หน่อยหนึ่งหรือเปล่าหรือว่าพี่คิดไปเองแต่ว่าคอนเทนต์ได้อยู่นะคอนเทนต์ได้ไม่มีปัญหา so for your informative content I think is very interesting and you can explore a new vocabulary new experience and you just explain what you did from this kind of thing based on your your practical experiences here that's it นะฮะแต่ไม่เป็นไรได้อยู่นะครับสู้ๆอันนี้เป็น interview พี่ขอดูก่อน interview with teacherก็มี the interview อะไม่มีอะไรมากเพราะ describe จบละงั้นได้ interview ครับผม okay just interviews okay all right so my question is that what types of sport do you like actually
Um, actually, personally, I prefer playing a rugby, but quite often I play basketball because the reason I like rugby because I do an exercise called weightlifting so frequently, and previously before COVID-19 outbreak occurred in the world, I did an exercise regularly, such as lifting weights a lot, and that made me to gain more muscles. And as if you have experienced playing a rugby before, you will know that it requires a lot of energy. I mean, you need to consume or intake lots of nutrition, especially carbohydrates, to increase your energy, and it makes you more active and energetic to do this kind of activity.
oh that's great nice to hear from you so what is the most popular sport in your country
I would say badminton and also football. Yeah, so these sports are quite famous in my country, and the reason is I don't know that it is true or not, but I believe in this way because near my houses I have 2 houses, right? And near my houses, and there is a sport field which is near to my village. And when I go there, I see lots of people, and also teenagers from the universities. They often play these 2 sports, and I see few people play basketball. So that makes me to think in that way that these sports are popular. Because in other areas, not near my village as well, whenever I go to any sports field, I always see these 2 see several people play these 2 sports.
that's right.
Yeah, always.
So do you prefer team or individual sport why
In my opinion, I prefer playing sports in team. And okay, I would compare the advantages or the benefits between these 2 types of playing sports first. The reason I prefer playing sports in team because that's because playing sports in team require more people, and it should be more than 2 people, or actually it should be more than 5 people or 6 people. I think the maximum is probably 7 or 8 per team, right? And that makes me to know more strangers. That makes me to be more confident to talk with them, because when we play sport in team, we cannot only decide to do something by your own. For example, playing a football, when you are if you are a goalkeeper, you cannot only decide what to do. You need to brainstorm with your team first what to do. Like the strategy, I would say is the plan for winning the opposite side. Yeah. So that's the benefit of playing team, and that makes you more sociable as well. That decreases the sense of loneliness as well, because another reason is that whenever I play sports individually, such as playing a basketball, but that's when I don't play a basketball in team, because during COVID-19 crisis, I often play basketball alone regularly, because I cannot go outside to anyone's houses to invite them to play with me, right? So I should dribble the ball alone in the front of my house. So yeah,
I see.
so that's why.
All right. Great, nice to hear from you. So do you play any sport in your childhood that you no longer play it anymore? Why?
ว่ายน้ำนี่ถือว่าเกี่ยวครับ
Yeah,
สปอร์ตนะครับ
yes.
Oh, this question is interesting. Previously, when I was a child, I would say I was forced to do a sport called swimming. I regularly went to the swimming pool to swim, and the reason by that is that my parents wanted to get my physical health to be better. Yeah, and also they wanted to give me or provide me a knowledge of survival while you are like just in case of being in the swimming pool alone, and that's the technical technique. There's a practical tips of how to survive yourself while you are drowning. Yeah, and in case of catastrophe as well, like flooding, when flooding happens, so I would know how to swim. Yeah, that's why. But nowadays I don't swim anymore because I hate swimming. Actually,
I see. You hate swimming. Why? What is the reason why you hate swimming?
The reason that I hate swimming because according to the scientific research, swimming is useful for your survival, right? So it also promotes your health as well. It makes children or people who swim to get a better respiratory system. Your lungs will will function better. But the reason that I hate swimming, because according to scientific research, and lots of scientists say that it's dangerous sometimes because it contains a contagious disease as well. You know, in just one swimming pool, it's impossible that in a public swimming pool there will be only you swimming alone. There will be more people and more strangers that you don't know before, and sometimes they might be ill, or they might and that disease that they still have in their body might be transferred through the water, which is the big problem. And infectious disease can spread through the water as well. Yeah,
I see your point here. All right, good. So next question is that who is your favorite sports star? Why?
Oh, actually, I don't play sports so much, but I still have one of the celebrity. I would say he's both of he's either a celebrity and also a sports star. And this guy is Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, and I like him not because of preferring playing football or yeah. I actually don't like playing football, but I like him because he has a good mindset. So I can apply his mindset, his good mindset, his positive mindset to my daily life as well, such as doing my homework or do something doing something that I really love or I like. I mean my passion. Yeah, and also he is the one who influences me to do an exercise. He because of his appearance, he has a good physique and his body is so shredded. He has a low body fat. He's so lean and he gets a big muscle, and that incentivizes me to get a healthier life. That encourages me to do something usefully, yeah, rather than just being addicted to playing games all the time or destroying your health. Yeah, and also I like him because of his diet plan as well. Yeah, he has a good diet plan. He recommends some healthy food, what to eat, what to not eat, what to avoid, like to avoid junk food or blah blah blah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your sharing. Okay, moving to next question here. I'm going to switch for a different topic here. It's all about law or order, right? Okay, so why do you think law and order are important actually?
Naturally, yeah, laws are important and it should be obligatory as well. And the reason is that it shows the equality as well. It shows the justice. Okay, if for example, if someone is guilty of doing something badly, if someone treats or harasses another person in a immoral way, so those people should be punished because that punishment will be exemplary for other people, and other people will obey the laws, and also it will lower the risk of conflicts as well. Yeah, conflicts in the society, because everyone should follow the rules that the authority is regulating. Yeah.
I see. So, second question is that who or which department is most responsible for enforcing the law?
In this question, I'm not sure about this because I'm not a professional in like in something like a law, in a law field or in a political terms, but actually I think prime minister is the first person who should be responsible for enforcing the law. Yeah, because as he is the the top authority, right, and he should regulate, he controls everything in the country, such and many aspects should be under his supervision as well.
All right, I'll see the point here. Good. And next question, should laws be more universal here? Yeah.
อันนี้หมายถึงว่ากฎหมาย
ตัวโล
ก
ก
ฎหมาย
ได้ไหมควรจะเป็นแบบมาตรฐานเดียวกันหรือเปล่า
อันนี้ต้องคิดแล้วสิครับ เดี๋ยวขอคิดว่าสิครับอันนี้มันมี2 แง่ 2 งามอะครับเพราะว่ามันจะมีเรื่องแบบว่า ประชาธิปไตยกับว่าเผด็จการนะครับแล้วบอกว่าในคิดว่ามันจะดีไม่ดี okay ครับ actually personally I believe that laws should be more universal. Yeah, because for example, so I will infer from the reality, as we say in the current day, there are the conflicts between countries because some countries are democratic, they are governed by democracy, right? And but in some countries such as China or มีประเทศอะไรนะครับที่เป็นเผด็จการนะครับ
เกาหลีเหนือ North Korea
ใช่ครับ and North Korea that they are governed. I mean, the citizens in that country are governed by aristocracy มั้งครับใช่ไหมครับ
Yep.
Yeah. So these two different types of governing the countries will lead the problems of conflict or something like that. So laws should be more universal. And คิดว่ามีอะไร อันนี้คิดไม่ออกแล้วอันนี้คำถามนี้ยากครับ
Okay, so next question is that is there any law you think is too strict? Why not?
เอาประเทศไหนก็ได้ใช่ไหมครับ
ให้เราก็ได้ครับ ผมมีไม่ได้
Is I agree that there is a law that is too strict and it should be abolished. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, and that law is อันนี้พูดได้ใช่ไหมครับ
yeah you can say whatever you say yeah
มาตรา112เขาเรียกว่า 112 section ใช่ไหมครับหรือว่า
yeah
one of the strict law which is 112 section which is which is contained in the constitution, right? So this law is too strict for people, and the reason by that because people like Thai citizens like us or the poor people, the unprivileged people, the people who lack of facilities, or some people who are exploited by the government cannot appeal for the public benefits or the benefits for the country, such as during this economic recession, lots of outside there is an increase of a number of like farmers who suffer from a decline in agricultural products and they gain less profits. But I would say it's a real thing, and this is the truth that lots of farmers, I would say every farmers who do this job, they get only 5 baht per kilogram of rice, and so that makes them so poor and they are being impoverished, right? And whenever they organize some events or activities to indicate that this government is incompetent and this government is doing something opposite to what the government said before, like previously before the election of อันคนนั้นนะครับไม่พูดชื่อ
อย่าพูดชื่อดีกว่าฮะ
ประยุทธ์จันทร์โอชาครับแล้วก็
All right. Yeah, just explore the ideas, but we have to save ourselves to just let it go first. Okay, the last question for you today is that how do people in your country generally think about obeying the laws? Yeah.
It depends on each people. It depends on their lifestyles as well. And what I mean by that is like you say lots of rich people, they don't understand why poor people disobey the laws because they think that this is prejudiced and the laws are not in terms of justice, because the rich, I would say that the poor people are downtrodden by these strict laws, as I said in the previous question, as I answered already. But about like when it comes to rich people, they might have a different perspective towards obeying the laws of the government. Yeah, because they have their own privilege and they don't suffer from the economic recession because they have their own budgets already, budgets or assets already. So they don't understand why those poor people have a different viewpoints about also about bashing or criticizing the government as well. Also, we cannot criticize this government because otherwise you will be sentenced for incarceration for probably 3 or 4 years.
All right, so stop talking about this because I think it's not good. And let's say like the way that we have to understand the law is kind of like a mandate to everyone to know of it, just a fundamental law or even something that we should know. And yeah, everything happens for a reason, and then I do believe that is this kind of thing that we can generate our idea to it how to follow or comply with those things that is appropriate for us to behave properly or even leading us to live in a positive life later on. So strict the law should be strict to some extent, but maybe law. So when we understood the law, so it's kind of like an obligation that everyone have to follow or regulate ourselves to do as the following instruction should be. So I think it's kind of controversial topic here, but yeah, that's it for today class. เป็นไงบ้างวันนี้ Happy ไหมสนุกไหม
ตอนนี้ครับคนหนึ่งประยุทธ์
ประมาณนั้นแหละนะครับalright แต่ว่าเดี๋ยวจะให้ไม่ก็เขียนเอเซ่แล้วกันนะฮะส่วน speaking ไม่น่ามีปัญหาหรอกแค่2 นาทีตัวนี้ไม่ต้องซ้อมก็ได้แต่ว่าก็พูดได้อยู่แล้วนะครับแค่ timing ให้มันเป๊ะแค่นั้นเองนะฮะเน้น writing ดีกว่า writing ดูยากนะครับ That's it for today class. Thank you so much for today ขอบคุณครับบ๊ายบายครับ
สวัสดีครับ